Your thoughts?
What? What? Who?
Nice.
Happy Friday to all of you. 9:02, that's the time on this, kind of different Friday morning. We got a great show for all of you today. We're going to be talking in just a couple of minutes to, actually, we got a whole hour to wait to. We're going to be talking to Simply Solar here right around 10:10. Then at 10:30, we're going to be talking to OSF Healthcare, getting an update on their presentation that's going to be taking place, a really informative one. And then Loretta Graham joins us at around 10:45, 10:50. We're going to be having a great conversation on some of the really cool events that are coming up at St. John's United. I want to make sure I get the church right. It's St. John's United Church of Christ, and this is really cool. On Saturday, July 27th, they're doing a dessert theater, like Music Through the Ages, really fun stuff. Loretta will join us for that as well. So a lot of great conversations coming down the pipeline today. If you want to be a part of it, you can. 618-759-7469. Text me, let me know what you want to talk about, or just comment it in, and I'll relay your comments to the listening audience on Roku TV, on RiverBender.com, and everywhere people are watching this live show and on demand. Thanks for tuning in. At 9:03, here's what's happening around the Riverbend. Make sure you sign up for that daily email update. You'll join myself, 70,000 people that are in the know each and every day, and so much more with that daily email update. We'll take you to Alton first. More fallout from the sinkhole crisis. The Alton Renegades have initiated a GoFundMe campaign as they seek a new home. Following a sinkhole at Gordon Moore Park Fields, Tony Davis, a Renegades representative, announced plans to set up a new field at Woodland Park, which will include lining the grass field and installing 2 goalposts. The youth football and cheerleading organization for children aged 5 to 12 years have been severely impacted by the sinkhole caused by the mine collapse under the previous field. Davis emphasized the high cost associated with the alternative fields and appealed for financial support to cover custodians, field, and referee costs. Donations can be made through their GoFundMe page. Also in the news this morning, Madison County Regional Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Robert Worden, has announced the hiring of Naj Shatrowski as the new principal of the county's Alternative School Center for Educational Opportunities in Troy. Starting this July, Satrowski brings over 20 years of experience in public education, most recently serving as an assistant principal for Alton School District. Satrowski is committed to maintaining the school's excellent track record in alternative education and aims to collaborate with the teachers and staff to help students earn graduation credits and develop essential life skills. She looks forward to fostering student success and personal achievement. Wow, how about this? Mary Jane, a longtime patron of Sip and Play Wine and Gaming Cafe in East Alton, has won $15,000 as part of J&J Gaming's 95th anniversary sweepstakes. How great is that? Always cool to see a longtime player and patron of a business winning. Announced at the cafe located at 9th and Airline Drive, Mary Jane was one of 8 winners in the statewide event in Illinois. Participants entered by checking in with their phone numbers at J&J Gaming kiosks. Mary Jane, in her 80s, expressed her joy and surprise at the win. The sweepstakes, fully funded by J&J Gaming, celebrated the company's 98 years of operation, and it brought excitement to the local community. Also in the news today, and more serious news, Attorney General Kwame Raoul announced that a Brighton, Illinois man has been sentenced to 25 years in prison after pleading guilty to disseminating child sexual abuse material, also known as CSAM. Christopher Sykes, 31 years of age, was prosecuted by Raoul's office in collaboration with the Jersey County State's Attorney's Office. The case underscores Raoul's ongoing efforts with federal and local law enforcement to combat online child exploitation. Sykes was arrested in March following a search of his residence that uncovered incriminating evidence. Raoul's Internet Crimes Against Children's Task Force, funded by the United States Department of Justice, has seen a 46% increase in cyber tips in 2023 compared to the prior year. The St. Louis Clean Air Partnership has issued an air quality alert for the St. Louis metropolitan area, including Madison County, from 10 a.m. until 8 p.m. Central Standard Time today. The alert forecasts an orange air quality level, indicating health risks due to high ozone concentrations. Ground level ozone can cause breathing difficulties for children, older adults, and individuals with respiratory issues. The partnership recommends reducing outdoor physical activity, telecommuting, carpooling, or using public transit. Residents should avoid excessive idling and refrain from topping off fuel. Use of gasoline-powered lawn equipment should be minimized or postponed. More information is available at cleanair-stlouis.com. The Alton River Dragons will play their home game today, this Friday, July the 12th, at the renowned Roy E. Lee Field at the Simmons Baseball Complex in Edwardsville, home of the SIUE Cougars. Admissions $5 per person. The first pitch for the game will commence at 6:35 p.m. The Jersey County Fair crowned its new royalty on Saturday night, with Emma McCormick named Miss Jersey County 2024 and Kylie Muntz recognized as Little Miss Jersey County. The pageant, held at the fairgrounds, featured contestants showcasing their poise, talent, and community spirit. Organizers praised all participants for their dedication and effort. The pageant, a highlight of the annual fair, celebrates local youth and fosters community pride. As Miss Jersey County, McCormick will serve as an ambassador for the fair and the community, while Muntz will participate in roles suited to her age group. With less than 40 days remaining until the start of the 2024-25 school year, yes, you heard me correctly, less than 40 days, a flurry of projects are in the works within the Granite City School District Number 9. Chris Mitchell, Manager of Communications and Transportation, provided updates on these undertakings. New tennis courts at Granite City High School and bleachers at Gene Baker Field and Kevin Greenfield, are anticipated to be completed by August. Additionally, a new press box and new roof at Wilson School are underway. Granite City High School is also receiving new floor tiles, labs, and HVAC system updates. Enrollment information is available on the district's website. Drone footage of the projects can be viewed online as well. The Edwardsville community is invited to support local children by donating new bedding items through a drive hosted by Country Financial agents Dwayne Jones and Carol Stolz. Running from July 8th through the 31st at their office, donations will benefit the Illinois Metro East chapter of Sleep in Heavenly Peace. Accepted items include standard pillows, twin mattress pads, twin sheet sets, small soft throw blankets, a twin-size comforter, along with more. Donations can be made via Amazon Gift Registry. Sleep in Heavenly Peace, a volunteer organization dedicated to building and delivering bunk beds to children in need, ensuring that no child sleeps on the floor in our community. Finally, in the news today, over 617,000 men lost their lives during the Civil War, and recent sources suggest that the toll maybe even higher. One Illinois man, Kerry Judson Gill, also lost his young wife, Sophie Christ, during the conflict. Both were students at Illinois State University and planned careers in education. Sophie, who graduated in 1861, joined Gary in the Army after their 1862 marriage. Unfortunately, she fell ill and died in November 1863. Gary continued his service, later transitioning to a medical career. He ultimately settled in Riverside, California, where he passed away in 1904. But this was a wonderful write-up on RiverBender.com. If you get a chance to take a look, very insightful, and bet you learned some things that you didn't know yesterday. That's a look at what's happening around the Riverbend. At 9:11, let's take a look at your weather forecast. It's 78 degrees, but let me give you this air quality alert. It has been issued July the 11th. It was issued at 3:38 p.m. Central Standard Time by the National Weather Service and the St. Louis Clean Air Partnership. It issued this air quality alert for the St. Louis metropolitan area 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Friday. An orange air quality forecast means the maximum ozone concentrations are expected to reach levels that pose a health risk. Adverse health effects increase as air quality deteriorates. Ground level ozone is an air contaminant which can cause breathing difficulties for children, older adults, as well as persons with respiratory problems. Reducing outdoor physical activity is recommended. If it is a regularly scheduled workday, you are urged to consider telecommuting, carpooling, or using public transit. Avoid excessive idling and do not top off when refueling motor vehicles. The use of gasoline-powered lawn equipment should be reduced or postponed until late in the day. For more information, you can visit the St. Louis Clean Air Partnership at cleanairstlouis.com. Today, 78 degrees. Currently, it feels like 89 out there. Throughout this morning, partly sunny. It will be humid with a thunderstorm in parts of the area. And tonight, partly cloudy and humid. Right now, that air quality is at moderate, but it will go up as we get closer and closer to 10 o'clock. Right now, the air quality ranked at 51. Grass is low, mold is low, ragweed low, tree level low, and the UV index is extreme. So if you're going outside, slap on some sunscreen. Temperatures reach 86 degrees today. They drop down to 70 overnight as we head into Saturday. On Saturday, a high of 92, a 55% chance of thunderstorms, getting work text. I shouldn't do that. 92 for the high, 73 for the low on Saturday. On Sunday, a high of 96, a low of 73 degrees. And on Monday, it's going to be warm again, too. A high of 98 on Monday, a low of 75. Whew. And then on Tuesday, a high of 93, a low of 71. And that's a look at your extended 5-day forecast. For time and temperature throughout the day, you give this phone number a ring, 618-465-4545. This time powered by Bounce Back, Rehab, Recover, and Return Home. Hey, before I take a quick break, got to pay some bills here, and let me fill you in on one of my favorite sponsors out there. New segment starting soon with Village Dispensary. Village Dispensary is where you can come meet your best buds. I mean, all week long, every day special at Village Dispensary. On Mondays, you roll into the week with 25% off Dog Walker pre-rolls. On Tuesday, it's time to get tasty with Tasty Tuesday, 25% off Dibs gummies. On Wednesday, it's all about getting waxy with 30% off Nevada disposable pens. And on Thursday, get thirsty with 30% off all CQ sodas and shots, along with a heck of a lot more. You're going, CJ, today's Friday. What deal can you give me? How about this one? Flour Friday, 3.5 grams of Paul Bunyan for just $25. There you go. How about that one? You know what I like about Village Dispensary? It's locally owned and union built, and they're all about quality. Whether or not you know what you're getting when you walk in, or if you need to sit down at that consultation area and talk with a bud tender and see what works best for you, they got a selection that would make Cheech and Chong jealous, and I'm telling you what, you go once, you'll never quit going. You go to villagedispo.com, start shopping today. That's villagedispo.com, and don't forget to tell them that you know who sent you over their way, because, you know, it's a joint effort. Before I take a quick break, always good to, see how downtown Alton's looking. Here's Skycam. We'll come back with more of our daily show right after this on Riverbender.
Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
Riverbender Radio has built 3 great new stations just for you in the Riverbend. The Eagle, the Riverbend's classic rock station. The Bridge, hit music for the Riverbend. And The River, today's country, and all your favorites. Check them out today at RiverBender.com.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Damn straight. You're killing me, man. You know I've always been your biggest fan. Now I can't even listen, 'cause I'll get to missing her, then the hurt gets worse. Damn straight. I used to love your songs, but now every time that one comes on, my heart keeps broken half. But do I wish I could get her back?
Get your tickets at metrotix.com for Scotty McCreery on August the 9th. The show starts at 8, but the gates open at 7 with a hell of an opener. Get out there on August 9th and just keep having some fun on the riverfront. You know, having a big name like Scotty McCreery coming into town like the Amphitheater Commission does each and every year. I mean, we always have something really cool like Dwight Yoakam, you know, Steve Miller Band, Leonard Skinner, Charlie Daniels, Kenny Rogers, the Beach Boys. I mean, it just goes on and on and on, and Scotty McCreery adds to that lineup this year, the big show, and that's going to be August the 9th at the Alton Amphitheater. I'll be doing a live show down there if you want to hang out with me. As always, you're more than welcome to do so. And while I have you, before we move on, Cat Daddy's retirement party starts today at 3 p.m. and it runs all weekend long. This is a big deal. I mean, this is truly a big deal. For almost 40 years, Cat Daddy has been down there and been one of the forefronts of that downtown district and helped develop and do so and just work so hard to provide so much for that area. And I just love the atmosphere at Cat Daddy's. I love all the crew and love Kat and Judy, you know, both. And coming up tomorrow on Saturday, I'm so really kind of honored, to be honest with you, to be asked to go and do a live show 4 to 6 p.m. on Saturday for part of Cat Daddy's retirement party. We're going to have conversations and interviews with friends and, you know, colleagues, you name it, and just have a good old time. This is going to be fun all weekend long, starting today at 3. It runs through Sunday. Stop by, get a shot of Doctor, wear your Cat Daddy shirt, and just tell some good stories and send them off on a great note. But just a wonderful opportunity. I'm going to have so much fun tomorrow. And for all of you that are down at Cat Daddy's on Saturday and you might have a little bit too much fun to remember the show, no worries, because I figured, you know, a lot of the people that want to watch it are going to be there. But how about this? On Wednesday, 3 p.m., we're doing a replay of the show because that way it's in the middle of the week. Everyone's kind of back from the weekend, and we can all just enjoy in the afternoon and just have a good old time with it. So that comes your way on a replay at Wednesday at 3 p.m. on RiverBender.com, and we'll do that as a taped live show. So no edits in it, just another replay, and just one that we can all kind of just relax and enjoy and look back on and make sure we didn't say anything too bad. 9:21's the time, but coming up this weekend, and we are kind of pivoting here a little bit because I forgot I had a cancellation at 9:20. At Haskell Park, there's a bunch of good stuff happening. This book that Evelyn wrote, Genevieve and the Magic Haskell Playhouse, is really just amazing. I mean, the story of community is in the book, but the story of community is really on how the book came together, and Evelyn's worked so hard. On Saturday, you can stop by Haskell Playhouse from 10 a.m. until noon for a story time at 10:15. Then you have the book signing that follows afterwards. Now, with that being said, there's still a ton going on. Do you realize that? I figured this out a couple days ago talking to Margaret Hopkins, that Haskell Playhouse is going to be making 50 years and just at the end of the month, July 30th, on being on the National Historic Register. That's a big deal, too. So we're going to replay our conversation we had with Margaret and Debbie. Wonderful, wonderful women. I love chatting with them. And I'll talk to you at the top of the 10 o'clock hour. But first, let's learn more about, Haskell Playhouse. O'clock officially in downtown Alton on this Monday morning, the 8th day of July. As I told you all earlier, we're going to be talking a little bit about Lucy Haskell Playhouse today and tomorrow because this is exciting. Number one, the book signing coming up on Saturday.
Right.
The birthday party coming up soon. And then I did not realize until Margaret had to tell me is that Lucy Haskell Playhouse is going to mark the 50th year of being on the National Historic Registry.
Right.
In July 20th?
July 30th.
Oh, July.
Of 74, right.
That is crazy. That is wild. It's already been that long.
Yeah.
50 years,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, right off the bat, let's talk about this children's book because Evelyn and I have talked about this quite a bit. We met in November about it on the show, and she had the idea. And then she was getting everything kind of developed. She came on 2 weeks ago and said, we're almost there, book signing to be determined. And then kind of called me last week and said, determined for the 12th. So she'll be on again tomorrow, but this is really cool.
It
Yes.
is. It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful
It's
book.
beautiful.
Yes, it really is pretty. I don't know if everybody can see
Well,
it, and
and-
Evelyn has probably showed it
Oh,
already.
she has, but that cover
But it-
by Ben Harrison is
Isn't
just
it
wonderful.
gorgeous?
Lovely.
Just
It is
wonderful.
beautiful.
Right.
Have you had a chance to look inside the book?
Yes, we have, and it's a beautiful story.
Is it really good?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It is. And we're so happy that Evelyn, she came to us too.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's probably about
It's
the same
been a
time
while.
she
Yeah.
came to you.
Yeah.
And she had this idea, and she wanted to have our approval of it, so she sent the copy of us so that we could look at the book, and so we were very excited, and then things kind of quieted down. We didn't hear for a while, and then all of a sudden it's geared up. So yes, we have got her ready for this book signing this Saturday the 13th. She's going to be there from 10 until noon, and so you can pre-order the book until tomorrow, I think, and then I think we'll have extra copies there.
I just want to say, Margaret,
Yeah.
you are the best. I said the 12th, and the way they thank you is I'm like, I know I said something wrong there. I said it's, and then whenever you said 13th, Saturday is the 13th. It's not a Friday thing. You are the thank you for saving me there. How exciting is it though, seriously, for a younger person to really hold Haskell Playhouse in that type of regard, to where it's not only a portion of the book, but it's what the book really is, the Magic Haskell Playhouse.
Yeah.
What's that mean for all of you that have worked so hard? And to know the next generation is seeing that hard work.
Right.
It just makes it worthwhile. This is why we all got involved, because we understood that this is a very unique, beautiful little building, and Alton should be privileged to have it, and we are the caretakers of that. And then people like Evelyn come, and she is picking up the challenge of keeping this alive, and it means a lot to her in her childhood. So that's what it's all about for us.
We've known for years that it's been a magic place.
Yeah,
Glad that Evelyn has made it in the form of a book. So yeah, we're really thrilled. So I think that the plan is Ann Hamilton, who is one of our members on our association, she actually is a librarian, and she's been working with Evelyn a little bit, and she's actually hosting the open house this week. And so Evelyn will actually be reading the book to the children, I think around 10:15, and then there will be the opportunity to meet her and have the book signed and really personalized for someone, you know.
Well, and too, I mean, what I think's cool is there's just a ton of opportunity just to love on Haskell this next couple of weeks.
Right.
And also too, Henry the Kitty is available for purchase that day.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is nice.
Yeah, that kitty has been sitting in the corner of the playhouse for, I don't know, since I've seen it. I didn't really know that it was such an important creature. Now I do.
So just so everyone's aware, and we'll get more details when we chat with Evelyn tomorrow, but let me just tell you now, from 10 a.m. until noon this Saturday, which is the 13th, if my calendar was correct internally, you can celebrate the release of this wonderful book, story time at 10:15, and then that book signing to follow. And then what I think is really cool, if you don't know, is that 40% of the proceeds are being divided amongst and donated to the Haskell Foundation, Hainer Library, Jacoby Art Center, and the Alton Area Landmarks Association. So I just love every bit of this book. I just love from start to finish the backstory to it, why we're doing it. And then let's maybe buy 10,000 of these books. Yeah. And then everyone could have a pretty darn good check in the mail.
And it's a darling story.
I was so curious about the story because I was talking to Evelyn about this. Yeah. No one would realize how hard it is to write a children's book. Oh. You know what I mean? Because I thought about it one day. I was, when you're sitting there after you get back home from Cat Daddy's 5 years ago and you're trying to figure out what's your next move, it's like children's author. Yeah. I tried for 2 days.
Did you? And you couldn't come up. Yeah.
No, well, if it was published, I would have probably had a warrant out somewhere.
That's right. I would have wanted. I'm sure it was interesting.
Yeah, you would have had a lot of adults buy that book.
But I just love this. And now, so Saturday is the first time this month that we can come out for an event. But wait, there's more.
Right.
There's always more.
Yeah, we're having a birthday party on July the 29th, which is Lucy's actual anniversary of her 144th birthday.
Wow.
So, and Evelyn will be there that evening as well to sign and sell her books. So.
Now at the party, what can we expect to be on hand that day?
Well, we do the wonderful activities that we do every year, and we do them every year because we like to replicate Lucy's 5th birthday. And this is what Mrs. Haskell did. She served cake and ice cream, which we will have, lemonade, pony rides, and games, children's games. And that is what Lucy did on her 5th birthday. But we start off with singing Happy Birthday to Lucy.
So cool.
And do we say who's our Lucy this year?
We have, every year we pick a child, and usually they're in the neighborhood. But this year it's going to be Genevieve Bland. She's the daughter of Melissa and Jonathan Bland. They live on the corner of 15th and Henry.
Honeybee Vintage.
Yes.
So, yes, Genevieve is so excited, and even more so because her actual birthday is July the 30th, the next day. So she's starting the party early, and she's going to carry it through.
It's going to be a great year.
I just, to talk about a birthday weekend.
One she'll never forget.
No, and once again, we will have our merchandise for sale. So if anybody needs note cards or a T-shirt, and these benefit the Playhouse.
Well, they're beautiful too. Those note cards are really nice.
Oh, they really are. They are very nice, and we always have them. And we have some that are in color, and then we have our standard little black and white ones that are $5 a package, and the other ones are $10. So We try to have something for everybody, and then Margaret's going to do our wishing tree, which our tree is gone, but our gazebo is there.
That's right.
Hey, and thanks to this show, yes, thank you everybody.
Yes.
Yay.
It's a beautiful gazebo.
Isn't it?
It is beautiful. I drove by.
yes.
I was having I call it a quarter life crisis. I'm like,
okay.
just the last couple months have been a little rough. So I said I'm going to go for a little drive. Seeing that gazebo just brought the biggest smile on my face to hear why and the story of the guy that saw it in St. Charles. I love it all. It really was what I needed that day to put the smile on.
And that is exactly what we think of the Playhouse and why we are doing what we're doing. And that was our intention with the gazebo when we thought, we love the holly tree, it died. But our whole Playhouse is actually a love story. It's all based on a love story, love of parents for a child, and love of the community for the building, and love. I think, and what we hoped is that it would do like it did for you, that you feel happy, you feel good about yourself and the world and the community.
Well, and it's just such a community spot too. I mean, there is no better spot in town for a community event.
You're right.
There's just not.
No.
Well, and now on the birthday party, how long does that run until?
Okay, it's on Monday this year, the 29th of July. We'll start at 6:30 and go until 8.
Oh, perfect.
Yes, and so we will begin the festivities with little introductions and a little background, and then we'll sing Happy Birthday, and then that's when the party starts.
That's when the kids get to play. That's when they're set loose.
Yes. and
Go,
it is true
Yeah.
that everything we do that night is free to the public. But we do, like Debbie said, we have merchandise, and then the wishing. I don't know. It's not the wishing tree. The wishing
anymore.
gazebo.
We're
actually selling these bows. I don't know if you.
I don't remember this too
Okay,
much.
you buy a bow
Beautiful.
for $1, and it's a birthday. We hang a little tag on it, and we'll hang it on the gazebo. So it will really be pretty with these white bows
Yes.
hanging off this gazebo.
Yes.
And so when I hang the bow, you get to close your eyes and make a wish. And so those bows will stay up for about a week or so.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
cool.
it's really
It's
very,
very
very cute.
cute.
And then the proceeds for that again goes back to the Playhouse. So yeah.
I just love it. I mean, it's just really, it's served its mission 100% over.
Hasn't it though?
And and there's nothing more beautiful than Haskell at Christmas time. But that to me is really why I just think it's the
Thank
best
you.
community spot. I really do. And as you're gearing up for the 50th of being on the National Historic Register, which is a huge deal.
It
I mean,
is.
that's a major deal.
Right.
What's it like knowing that, even before that, you had all these, you knew that 50th was coming, the year was coming, you knew the birthday was coming, but to have this kind of movement the last couple of weeks where, I mean, I have seen so many people posting about Haskell Park and Playhouse. And it's because of, the book, honestly, and all this kind of newfound excitement for a younger generation.
Sure.
That's got to really just put so much wind in your sails to keep going through it, because I'm sure, it gets, tiring every once in a while. But when you hear that gust of morale boost, I mean, it's like, boy, we're here. We're ready to go.
Well, you know what? It's interesting because a month ago or so, we had a little gathering where we had invited some people to join our association to help us. Some younger people. Yes, and they came, and we have actually three new.
They joined.
Wonderful.
Yes, 3 new people in a younger generation that have joined us. So we feel really positive about the future.
Well, and I've always said this because I had a conversation about, someone said, well, we don't want to just bring in any young person. Well, it's very true. But whenever you get to work with them hands-on and you get to really pass the torch, and have them learn from all the years of all the work you put in, and everything else, it's what really sets us up for that better tomorrow, is that kind of hybrid of someone that's maybe newer as a group, and then, of course, the core that's been there getting things done. It's a perfect fit.
Yeah. It was really assuring that the future will be taken care of.
Yes, we won't have to worry about it. That that we're not ready to go yet.
No. They still got to come on this show.
But when we do, they need to know that the work behind it. There's always work behind it. Things just don't happen.
Right.
And we have, by trial and error, what works, what doesn't work. And so, that's where they can benefit, just like we did from people like Carolyn Dooley and Chris Alfred, the people who went before us, that because of what they did, we can do what we're doing. And CJ, the work is never done. No. There's always something that we think of, aha, wouldn't this look good? And but a little known fact that the one tree that's there by outside the women's restroom, there's a tree there, and there's a tree stump. That is from the holly tree. That was where the gazebo is, and people love that tree. And we made the canopy for the sitting area because people love that tree and did not want to see it go and blah blah blah. But it died, and so in order to save a little part of that tree, which was planted by Gordon Moore, Dr. Gordon Moore, that we had the tree at the park department. They moved the stump there so you can sit on it.
That's cool.
So when you do that, that is that holly tree.
Right.
Yeah.
I just love that.
And you know that we knew that the gazebo wasn't going to quite give us the shade that we. But so this year, if you haven't noticed, we have vines that are starting to grow up on the gazebo that will hopefully add some shade to that area. We planted a white hyacinth bean.
Oh,
and they're very fast growing, and they're probably almost up to the roof level.
It really looks pretty now.
Oh, it's going to be gorgeous. By the birthday party, you're going to be sitting in the shade.
Well,
But imagine what that'll look like next year, though, or the year after. I mean, I'm a long game guy when it comes to flowers and any type of that will look cool. Now, the 50th, is there going to be any celebration?
Not really. We just want the people to know that, this started evidently, and that must be a process to get this done. So I think actually I have a copy of the National Register inventory nomination form.
Yeah.
And it evidently, the Historic Building Survey was done in 1967. So I don't really know exactly if that's when the process started, but the survey was done then. And this was done by Ruth Means, and another a gentleman, I'm assuming, Plockner, I think was his name. So, but it's interesting that the headlines in this statement of significance says that the Haskell Playhouse is a unique architectural gem and a work of art. Even they knew it back then.
Yeah.
And the Haskell Playhouse visually arouses the curiosity of its purpose, and in the explanation brings forth a dramatic and nostalgic experience of another era. I mean, that
is the Playhouse.
Says it all,
It does, and especially for us, because in life, things change. People, new businesses come in, corporations, you name it. But landmarks should never change, because you need to have the Haskell Playhouse and all those other great gems in the community. But that way it kind of brings the past to life. Every time you drive by it, you might see that new building, but you know that the roots and history of Alton are still alive.
Right.
And it's so important.
Right.
That's, I think, our biggest advantage for Alton is our history.
You're 100% right. There is no doubt about it. And now, going forward, you guys can take donations throughout the year because you're a 501c3, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
And just curious, how much does typical maintenance cost on the building? Because you wouldn't think of it as much until, you talk summer months with the paint and everything that comes into play. Do you have an average of what it kind of was?
Well, every year we have a security alarm bill, which is almost $500. And because the house is not only protected with an alarm system, but it has a camera system, okay? So that's an annual bill for us. Just recently we had the roof inspected. It's probably been 4 or 5 years since we had the new roof put on. But, we need to check on those things. So that was another $300 that happens. Debbie, what else do we have that?
Oh, it's just on with the plants every single year have to be all the flowers. That is all replaced every year, and that's several hundred dollars
for that. Yes.
And then just our parties. Of course, our parties, we have an account that is our Playhouse account. The trust account is strictly maintenance for the building. But there's always, as soon as we get one porch board fixed, the other one decides to pop up and crack.
No. And
it is ongoing.
And that's what we're working on now. We actually have some floorboards on the front porch that are going to be replaced this fall. So that's going to be several $100s. Last year we spent several $100s on replicating a railing in the back on the bathroom side, as well as the cartwheels that were in the corner that were missing.
Yeah.
So it's a constant thing, you know.
So it could be $1,000 to a couple thousand
$1,000
every
a year.
year.
Yeah.
And that's not if something major
Happens,
pops up that
right.
we have to address.
Well, and that's what my thought is. I mean, you're early enough in the year, folks, for July. I mean, you still have time to get your tax write-offs going here. And, you know, think about this. I mean, especially after the breath of life that this book kind of, I mean, seriously, on social media for my generation, everyone's talking about the Playhouse right now.
Yeah.
And it's so cool to see that.
Yeah.
You know, if you have the time, take the opportunity to realize that everyone's pretty excited about this, and that Haskell Playhouse is a national gym that you could keep supporting and making sure that you're actually kind of a local hero. I mean, that's really what happens because you're providing so much. And you can reach out. How do they donate?
They can go to haskellplayhouse.org, and there's a donate button right there.
There you go.
You can do it online, or you can, if you want to, if you're old school like us, we send a check to the city's treasurer's office, and then they'll deposit it into our account.
Really cool. I just want to make sure that we always get that out. And now, as we still have you, the time's 10:19. On Saturday, the 13th, you can celebrate the release of Genevieve and the Magic Haskell Playhouse inside the Playhouse with the story time at 10:15 and a book signing to follow afterwards. This is going to be really, really cool. Join Evelyn and the Haskell Foundation in their celebration of this magical look at Alton's history with Lucy Haskell, July 13th from 10 a.m. till noon. So you got 2 hours this Saturday.
Yes.
The birthday party is the 29th on a Monday from 6 to 8:30.
6:30.
Oh, dang it, I almost said it! From 6:30 to 8 p.m. And this is really, the pony rides, everything's free?
Yes.
Yes, and thanks to the Alton Godfrey Rotary. They have been so good to us since we even started the birthday party.
God.
They always sponsor the ponies for us.
Yes.
So, yes, a big thank you to them.
You know,
And Duke's Bakery for
their
the cake.
Yes, they
always. Every
yes.
year. Every year.
no one really talk. You know, that's a good point too. And Alton Godfrey Rotary has done some really, really
Thank you,
good
God.
work.
Thank
I don't think the public realizes just what that
They
group
don't.
alone's
Right.
done.
Right.
We'll have to do an interview with them one day and put them on the hot seat.
Right.
Put them all on the hot seat. And then what I think would be great, you know, even though there's no event happening on the 30th, if I can get 10 of you to maybe write a $50 check to Lucy Haskell Playhouse, I think we'd be in business. You know, I think we'd be fine.
Yeah, to commemorate the 50th anniversary.
Yes.
Very good.
Oh,
you are
yes, do it.
Why not take a shot and try, you know? And,
right.
But it's just really cool because there's nothing, things in life are changing with how organizations are run and but one thing that never will is how Alton's local organizations and national landmarks operate. And that's what I think's so cool about this because, you know, in life, whether or not it's 30 years from now, 30 minutes from now, or even 3 days from now, that Haskell Playhouse will be right there in that corner. And you know that all the memories that you had there are going to be there too.
Right.
And, you know, as we get creeping up towards October, we're going to have to get you on for Christmas.
Oh, yes, because we'll have Santa be coming in.
And do you guys have a Labor or an Arbor Day, or not Labor Day, but an August event?
We'll have open house again.
That's what it is. Okay, I know there's one. Don't fool me like that. I'm like, I know there's one event after the birthday bash.
Yeah. Actually, we have two. Our season runs from April to September for open houses, so we'll have 2 more open houses, August and September.
Perfect. There we go. Am I forgetting about it?
No, you're doing good.
You know what's funny is I didn't really ask him what we were talking about today. We kind of just went. You know, why not? And you know, while I have you, before we say goodbye to everyone, while I have you, this Saturday, RiverBender will be live outside Cat Daddy's for Cat Daddy's retirement party.
Oh, okay.
And what we're doing too is I just want to throw this out there because you're going to get an email from me and I got to take a break anyway. So instead of a live read, I'll do one for myself. And this is kind of weird, you know? If you're a business owner out there and you want to be a part of a salute in terms of like a lower third that you see at the bottom of your screen, we can jazz it up and have your business logo on there that would say happy retirement, some well wishes. But we'll be out there for a couple hours as we're a part of that party. So you'll get an email from me later. Or if you want to join now, just send me a text. I just got a Facebook message. That's incredible. Thank you. 10:23, a little bit of change. Always a pleasure to talk to both of you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you, CJ.
Mark your calendars for this Saturday and the 29th, which is a Monday, for you and the kiddos to go just have a good old fun time at one of Alton's national landmarks. I just love it. We'll take a quick break and our daily show hits you next.
Get paid to go solar.
We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
I had an amazing experience with Dr. Haug and her team. I came here when I was 10 years old to get my braces on. Now I'm 28 years old, braces off, and I get so many compliments on my smile. It's helped me thrive in my career as a news reporter, and also as Miss Missouri USA, I took the stage with confidence, knowing my smile was gonna make me look like $1 million. I've never felt better and more confident because of my smile.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready? Future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
But it's too late, baby, now it's too late. Though we really did try to win it. Something inside.
Welcome back, 9:48. A little bit of change on this Friday morning. Hey, while I have you, are you looking for a fresh start on the road to recovery? A life free from addiction is possible, and it starts with our friends at Centerstone. Centerstone is a national leader in mental health and substance use disorder treatment for people of all ages, with a commitment to delivering care that truly changes people's lives. Centerstone's dedicated clinicians use evidence-based practices in their treatment programs, meaning the recovery care plan is developed for you based on the latest science. There's so many unknowns on the road to recovery, but one thing you can know for sure is that Centerstone will be that constant guiding force for you in your recovery journey. Addiction can happen to anybody. It's 2024. We're past that now. But one thing you can know for sure is that recovery can happen to anybody. So start working towards it today by visiting recoverwithus.org. That's recoverwithus.org, or by calling 1-877-HOPE. 123. Let's take a look what happened on this date in history. On this date in, 1984, Geraldine Ferraro designated running mate of Walter Mondale. This was the first time ever a woman was nominated for vice president by a major U.S. party. This happened on this date, July the 12th, 1984. Also, on this date in history, not a lot of good ones. Except for this one, 2 more. The Medal of Honor, awarded for battlefield bravery, was created by the U.S. Army on this date in the year 1862. On this date in 1543, King Henry of England wed his 6th wife and his last, Catherine Parr. That happened on this date in history. Let's take a look at music. On this date in 2012, Steven Tyler, man, he looks a lot different now, announced that he would be leaving American Idol after 2 seasons. After some hard, long thoughts, I've decided it's time for me to let go of my mistress, American Idol, before she boils my rabbit, he said. I strayed from my first love, Aerosmith, and I'm back, but instead of begging on my hands and knees, I got 2 fists in the air, and I'm kicking the door open with my band. There was a whole lot of something behind that speech, I can tell you that much. Hey, on this date in 2012, Polestar magazine announced that former Pink Floyd bassist Roger Waters had grossed up $158 million in ticket sales worldwide so far that year alone with The Wall live show. Bruce Springsteen came in second that year with netting $79.9 million in ticket sales. On this date in 1988, Michael Jackson arrived in the UK for the first ever solo appearances. He performed a total of 8 nights to 794,000 people. On this date in 1980, I always remember this song from American Dad. Olivia Newton-John and ELO had the #1 UK single with Xanadu, taken from the film of the same name. It gave Olivia Newton-John her 3rd UK #1 single. On this date in 1979, Minnie Riperton, American singer and songwriter, died of cancer at the age of 31. The Stevie Wonder-produced Loving You gave Minnie a U.S. #1 single in 1975. She worked at Chess Records, singing backup for various artists such as Etta James, Fontella Bass, Bo Diddley, Chuck Berry, and Muddy Waters. She also sang lead for the experimental rock soul group Rotary Connection from 67 to 71, and was a member of the backup group for Stevie Wonder, Wonder Love, in 1973. Also on this date in history, Ray Charles was at #1 on the UK singles chart with the Don Gibson-penned country ballad, I Can't Stop Loving You. His only UK #1 was taken from his Modern Sounds in Country and Western album. In 1958, The Quarrymen, featuring younger versions of John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and John Duff Lowe on piano, along with Colin Hanton on drums, recorded a vanity disc in a small studio in an electronics shop owned by a man named Percy Phillips. The band recorded That'll Be the Day and In Spite of Danger in one take each, with the names of the tunes and the songs writers handwritten on the label. That's incredible. Each band member was to keep the 10-inch 78 RPM disc for a week before passing it on. Both records eventually ended up on Anthology 1. That's really interesting. On this date in 1954, a 19-year-old signed a recording contract with Sun Records, and it gave his notice at his job that day to the Crown Electric Company that he'd no longer be working for him. Sam Phillips from Sun Records originally wanted to use this 19-year-old to make demos of songs meant for other artists, but he soon realized that here was a man who could bridge the gap between the demographics, and that man was Elvis Presley, who signed his first record deal on this date, July the 12th, 1954. Let's see. That's about it. Oh, wait, no. One birthday for you. Christine McVie, keyboard vocals, Chicken Shack, and then Fleetwood Mac, who scored, of course, the U.S. #1 single Dreams from their worldwide #1 album and one of the greatest of all time, Rumors, which spent 31 weeks on the charts. 8 of her songs appeared on Fleetwood Mac's 1988 greatest hit album. McVie died at 79 following a brief illness on November the 30th, 2022. And that's a look at what happened on this date in history. You know, you can always take a look back what happened on this date in history locally when you stop into the genealogy and local history department at Hainer Library. You know, Lacey McDonald and her team are truly the best at what they do. They discover so much about Alton and the Riverbend's rich history. You know, it's not every day you can walk into a location and really discover your family's roots, and you can do that time and time again at genealogy and the local history library of Hainer Library's umbrella. Plus, there's so much more throughout the, months at Hainer Library, whether or not you're over 55, you're under 35, maybe you're still in high school and you want something to do in the summer to keep you busy. Go over to Hainer Library. They got a great teen advisory group. They got a great kids space with activities all week long. Plus, on top of that, let me hit you with the Library of Things one more time. Why get an item that you're going to return to Walmart after one use? You're only going to get that can jam because you're going out to the park or you're maybe going to a family picnic. You're never going to use it again. why don't you head on over to Hainer Library? Use your library card, which also unlocks ad-free, for-free streaming and movies with Biblio Plus and so much more. I mean, it's just waiting for you over there. You go over there to the Library of Things, you check it out with your card, you bring it back, you're good to go. How about this? It's going to be a year for, well, not even a year from now in April. Your kid in high school, their TI-84 calculator is going to break. It happens every time before finals. Why are you going to go to Walmart, spend another $200 to never use it again? Go to Hainer Library, use the Library of Things, check it out there, and then you can return it. Plus, the Seed Library, where you can grow native plants. All you do is stop by any Hainer Library location, and you're good to go. That's HainerLibrary.org. You click on the How Do I tab. Get a library card. You click on that. You put your address in, and you are rocking and rolling, courtesy of your friends at Hainer Library. HainerLibrary.org. That's HainerLibrary.org, and get your library card today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Chris, how are you doing today, man? We had a better segment during the break.
I'm doing fantastic. It's good to be back.
So you guys are rocking and rolling at Simply Solar, and just how's everything been since the last time I talked to you, man?
You know, as everybody knows, the end of the one-to-one net metering is coming.
Yeah.
I mean, the panic is in the air. Everybody's talking about it. The truth is, if you haven't pulled the trigger by the middle of August, you probably will have missed the boat.
Okay. I feel really good about this. I don't know if you know this, but I've been telling people you better sign up before August or September because it's over with after that. There's no way in October you're going to be able to lock that in and get everything started. Good to know that I'm on the right page here.
Yeah.
And do you see more of this happening to where more of those really good incentives start to kind of peel back like Missouri's doing a little bit?
Yeah, Missouri eliminated them altogether.
Yeah.
For the most part. Ameren has been wanting to get away from one-to-one net metering for years. They've tried a gazillion different ways. This time they finally won. And we've been telling people that. So, solar will still make sense in 2025. It's just going to look a little bit different.
Yeah, absolutely. And currently, the projects that you're working on, do you want to fill me in on any of those? Because you have a ton. It seems like the last time I talked to you, you were just in a stride. And is that still the case?
Yeah, absolutely. The one, do you want me to bring that one?
It's up to you, man.
We are the company that's doing Spencer T. Olin Golf Course at Gordon Moore Park. So those of you that know what's going on there, which just about everybody does, it's a pretty major setback for the community because it's a beautiful facility.
Yeah.
I don't have any inside information. It's a very delicate situation. All I know is that if you're a praying person, pray for a speedy solution that they can put this park back together, that everybody can use it.
And you were in the process of almost finishing that project, weren't you?
It's 98% complete.
Man, talk about just the odds of that. I mean, no one could have predicted a massive sinkhole.
No.
I just hope it all works out. And you can't design another Arnold Palmer course in a span of 2 months. With that, though, I saw that you guys are having a $500 rebate going on. What's that mean?
At the completion of the installation, we were rebating a customer $500 for pulling the trigger. And actually, what we're going to do for the next 4 weeks, if you sign up in the next 4 weeks by the middle of August, we are going to bump that to $1,000 rebate at the completion of the installation. The time is now. I mean, if you haven't done it, you really need to get on board.
Well, what better incentive is if you lock in and by in the next 4 weeks, you're going to be good to go before the net metering changes. So you're going to be locked into that one-to-one, correct?
That is correct.
And you get a $1,000 rebate on top of it. So how about that incentive for you?
Yes, sir. And the thing is it's not going to take to the end of the year for us to get glass on the roof.
Right.
Ameren is going to be bombarded with inspections between now and the end of the year. That is the punch. So.
And I'm sure that, maybe a little bit slower process for inspections, too, if they know the net metering change is coming, right?
Yeah, there's only so many inspectors, man.
Yeah, a little bit limited.
They're going to have thousands across Ameren's territory to get done before the end of the year.
Inspectors, my hat's off to you guys because you're going to be rocking and rolling.
Amen.
Well, how is, as these changes start to take effect, this is where people really need to have a trusted partner in the solar industry because, it doesn't seem like this is going to hopefully it is the only kind of major change right now with this net metering. but you never know when the next one's going to take into effect or the next law and ordinance is going to be passed that affects the industry. And how versed is Simply Solar on the industry, all those ins and outs in legislation, that has to be the biggest component of the job right now.
Yeah, well, listen, we've been here for 8 years, so we've been sitting here doing it. We've seen the program go through many transitions and so forth, so we're very educated and up to date on it. Again, when we talked about a month ago or when we were on this before, the idea is go local. Okay, there's only about 3 companies in this area that are legitimately local that know what they're doing, and we're one of them. And I'm residential, commercial, agricultural, even the municipal, well, like the golf courses and so forth. I mean, we're versed in doing everything.
I didn't tell you this. Actually, you brought up a great point. I saw something, and I'm going to get in trouble, I'm sure, with my generation, but there's a group, and I kept seeing this, where I thought they were local solar companies, and they were just with a local company knocking on doors. Well, all of a sudden, see a little Snapchat message, and it says, I need a group of 10 guys. We're flying out to such and such tomorrow to sell, and you're going to get everything paid for. You get all this commission.
Yep.
And all they're going to do is take people's money and run. They aren't going to be doing the job.
Yep.
And it's just terrible. And that's why you really need to have someone like Simply Solar. And you guys aren't just trusted and true with your, the individuals that call you. I mean, you're working with these companies and making sure these projects get done. I mean, that's a real community business.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, CJ. I mean, these companies, they come to town, they're only marginally trained at best on how it works here. And, forgot where I was even going to go with that.
Well, they're rude. Can I tell you this, too? I was at my parents' house picking up they watch my dog during the day because they got 2 dogs, so they hang out together, so he's not at home by himself. And I go pick him up, and my parents aren't home. Well, a guy walks by in a nice blue shirt, nice collar blue shirt. He's feeling good, and he goes, hey, can I talk to you about solar? I said, no, but where's your permit?
There you go.
Well,
that's right.
Well, my boss, I said, where's your boss? Because you're the only one walking this road. Where's your permit? I chased him off. You can't do that. You have to do it the right way. And what happens is, though, Chris, my fear is what happens to the individual that doesn't really know that, even though the village has put out multiple, press releases that state they need to have one. There's only a certain
on their
few.
person.
Yeah, on their person. Not their boss up the street in another neighborhood. But, my fear is what happens to that individual that really is interested, and they're just, they see a young guy smiling at them, and they go, yeah, let's pull the trigger now. This is great. And then all of a sudden, their perception's completely altered because of a bad experience.
I can tell you this: my wife Nikki, she makes a lot of phone calls in the nature of our business, and sometimes she gets them, and they say, "Oh man, we already went solar, but we went with one of these out-of-state companies, and it has been a disaster."
How so? Can we expand on that? How so? It was a disaster.
Well, one, they always tell you that it can be done in 3 or 4 months. You'll be activated with those companies. It's 6 to 8. I work with one of them for the one product called the Power Purchase Agreement. It's just not a smooth process. Again, like you said, they could never talk to the sales rep again because he came here to stay in an Airbnb in St. Louis and go out to steak dinner every night and, may have made a ton of money, but there is an aftermath. One guy told me one time, he goes, Chris, you weren't even the less expensive guy, but I went with you because if there's ever a throat to choke, I know where you are.
Exactly. Well, you're 100% right about that. I mean, at least who did the job. You know who's responsible at the end of the day,
and somebody to fight for you. When there is an issue.
Exactly. And now take me through the practice of Simply Solar again, how your business operates, because we had you on a couple of months ago, but just to refill our audience and on the services you provide, how it works, if you could fill us in.
All right. So at my company, Simply Solar, I work with different local contractors. If you're strictly a residential and you're paying cash, or you're okay with taking the loan, I have a preferred vendor for that. If you're a commercial operation, we're more versed in getting REAP grants, and you're working with a depreciation. There's a lot more details involved in that process. So I have an EPC for that. The PPA, the bigger companies that are in here knocking on the doors, they're the ones that come in here with that product, and that product has its application, but it's only for a select few people. It's not supposed to be the broad stroke. So, but I advise people in every facet. At the end of the day, even if all I've done was educate you and you don't do the solar.
Yep.
then that's all fine and good. Just tell somebody that I was honest with you and I'm worth talking to.
100%, because that's I hate to say it, Chris, I don't know how you feel about this, but I've said this every time based on the show when it kind of comes up. It's almost like an Americana way of doing business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's such an it's almost non-existent anymore with how so many companies operate. It's just, let's get the quick sell. Let's get this money in the bank and let's hit the bottom line so that way the accountant team's happy this month, and let's do this. It's not hey, I just want to talk to you. If it works for you, great. If not, hey, I totally understand. But just, pass the name on if you could.
Yeah, absolutely.
I miss those days, and I'm glad you're bringing it back.
It is. It's sounds like 50s type crap, doesn't it?
It does. It's what my grandpa did with Rigdon Sewer Service forever. It's the right way to do it, and I hope it comes back even stronger.
Well, referral business is actually the largest part of my business, and that's why.
100%. And I wanted to ask you about some of these just to kind of give our audience a little bit of a bigger picture. We're going to go on the scene now. Take me through this job, because this is not a 1,600 square foot home.
No, that is not. That is a farm up north, and if you see the grain bins in the back,
let's zoom in on that.
They've got the grain bins. Anybody that's working with grain, they pull a lot of power. They pull it in basically 2 months of the year. So basically, that customer, he got it put on the roof. He got his 30% federal tax credit. He got the Illinois Shines money. He also gets to depreciate the system because it's in the process of a commercial project. What you're looking at there is probably about $250,000 worth of solar, 85% of which was paid for through the incentives in the first 3 to 4 years of the system's operation. That's actually a phenomenal project.
That is incredible, man. I didn't talk to Chris and say which picture should I pull up. That was just one I saw, but think about just the transformation for that individual's electric bill, because I could only imagine what those 2 months were running him when he was, on the power supply.
Yeah, the electric bills those couple of months were upwards of $4,000 to $5,000
oh my gosh.
for 2 months.
Oh my gosh.
But he banked his power all year long. With the day he turned the switch, didn't cost him a dime.
And I wanted to ask you just real quick, because I'm always fascinated by just the process of the build. There's a picture here on the site, and I'm on simplysolarillinois.com. You all can follow along at home or request a little bit of a consultation on the site as well. Put your contact information in. We'll show you how to do that too. What is this process in the installation?
I'm trying to figure out.
It looks like a ground wire.
Which one that is? Okay, so this is a ground mount. The gentleman obviously didn't want to put it on the roof. Okay, so we find a position out on the land that's got clear southern exposure. The trench that you see there and the conduit, which is obviously one of our jobs. Some of them don't put the wire in conduit, but you bring it around, and probably behind us, and I think to the right, is where the meter would be.
Did you say some don't put wiring in conduit?
They do not.
What?
They cut corners. They cut corners. The stuff was supposed to be in conduit. It's supposed to be 18 inches deep. And we go out and repair other people's projects that haven't been done like that.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I seriously, you said that, I'm not being funny. I mean, that's just an obvious no-brainer. Put the damn thing in conduit. Wow.
You'd be surprised some of the installations I've seen here just in the past couple of weeks by some of these out-of-state companies.
Can I ask you, how difficult is it to kind of not get too frustrated by the bad apples? Because, you're a part of the industry, and I get, you got to stay true to who you are, but it's got to get frustrating when you hear some of this, obvious falsehoods that are started by bad experiences.
Yeah, for us little local guys, it's really difficult to compete because, one, like you said about that ad, they bring in 10, 20, 30 guys, and they're just canvassing the living crap out of everything. In fact, if you saw one walking, I'm surprised. Half the time they're on Segways.
Yeah, you're right. That's true, too. In DeAdrian they were. That's true.
Yeah. So... what was the question?
It was just, how do you combat that? How do you kind of just deal with it? Because it is something to deal with.
We combat it by doing stuff like this. We can only market so much on Facebook and Instagram and Google and everything like that. When a customer wants to do solar, just Google local or solar close to me, or something to that effect. You know, I mean, you might not always land on me, and that's fine. But I would rather see you get solar and have a positive experience than give it to these people in California.
Exactly. And, you know, I didn't know, Chris, that you were a little bit of a TV star here. You didn't tell me this.
I can have a little fun. Oh, yeah. Arlington Greens Golf Course, baby.
This is your community engagement. Let's play this out.
Standing here at Arlington Greens Golf Course in Granite City to show you our latest solar installation. This is a small portion of overall 260 kilowatts around this golf course that's going to create all of its electricity for the next 25 to 30 years. The only electric bill this golf course will receive is going to be its $26 a month customer charge and meter charge. If you would like to know how to do this for your home or business, give us a call at 618-796-0197. We would love the opportunity to become your solar provider as well. Thank you and have a great day.
And if you could on that job, that's another bigger project.
It is, and that's only the array behind me. That's only about half of the overall solar for that golf course. One of the challenges at these golf courses is where do you put this? You know, because they've used the majority of the land, you know, for this and that and the other thing. So there's another ground mount somewhere else out on the course. There's some on the roof of the clubhouse, and on the maintenance shed out there. So it's spread out. You know.
You know, I just think it's so cool that, you know, Chris, you guys both, you and Nikki both are just, you guys work as hard as you can to get the word out. And that's what's needed, especially when you're in an industry that's full of, you know, players, quote unquote, that just have a bankroll and that's about it with advertising dollars and can afford to send out a bunch of recruiters. If that's the new name for them? That's what the one guy told me. He was a solar recruiter.
Yeah. Lead generator, door knocker.
Yeah.
Door knocker.
Well, I have another word for it, but I'm on the air. So what do the next few months look like with you? Because this has got to be a busy time, I'm sure, with this change. And I mean, this is a major change. So I'm sure that you're going to have a lot of phone calls, a lot of conversations. What do you foresee?
Well, we're prepared to keep the gas on the pedal, you know, for the next month and a half, and then we're just going to manage the projects through the rest of the year. There'll still be some things that'll trickle in, but it's more important to us that everybody has a good experience through the rest of the year because, you know, like I said, the incentives aren't going away per se.
No.
Just the one-to-one net metering. Batteries will become more of a conversation now. You know, but
how so? Just because I'm not really versed in this.
Ameren having the one-to-one net metering all this time, a battery was never an essential.
Okay.
There's less expensive ways to do emergency backup. You could put a generator alongside of your house for about half the cost of a battery.
Oh, wow.
Okay, but when they do away with the one-to-one net metering, and even the utilities around here like Southwest Electric Co-op and MJM, City of Highland, a lot of the municipal utilities, they've already begun to have the conversations about batteries because they don't get a true one-to-one. So we have access to the Tesla Powerwall 3 now.
Okay.
Quick access. You don't have to wait 18 months for it anymore. But it is going to be a conversation that even Ameren customers will start to have in 2025.
Wow. And now, real quick, while I have you, man, you know, every time I talk to you, it just flies by. We've been talking for 20 minutes, you know. And
God, are we done?
No, we are not done yet because I got to show people this screen real quick. This is simplysolarillinois.com/landing page. I'm going to zoom out for you guys just so you can get the website, but it won't let me. That's okay. simplysolarillinois.com/landing page. This is where you fill out the information. How does that process work? How quick do you reach out after you get that form?
Within 24 hours.
Wonderful.
Absolutely, within 24 hours.
And, you know, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that are calling you here in the next couple of weeks that are going, man, I got to get it on this. I mean, this is make or break. Otherwise, I'm not doing the solar thing. You know, I can see that happening. So what is your advice to folks that are maybe going, we waited too long, we got to do this, so ready to bite the bullet now? What's your advice to them on, you know, how this is going to work out and how it's going to roll out in the next few months?
Like I said, just have the conversation now.
Yep.
Have the conversation right now, sometime in the next week or two. even if you need 3 or 4 days to think about it, you'll still have a little bit of wiggle room there. But at the end of the day, CJ, the jig is up.
It is, man.
The jig is up. We've been telling them for years it was coming.
You told me 2 months ago it was coming on this show.
Yeah.
You said that there is a talk of a change coming to this net. I remember you telling me that now.
Yep.
And it's just, it's so good to know that there is someone that's, that's really trusted and knows what they're doing here and has great partners that, perform the task at hand too. And so, please.
If I may, CJ, I need 30 seconds.
You go for it, man.
Also, I want to introduce, we're launching, as of tomorrow, Simply Solar Scrubbers. We are opening our solar panel cleaning business. We are going to be the only people in the Metro East area that are doing it. It's going to be a great product. I can't sell everybody's solar, but I can simply clean all of your solar panels. So give us a call if you want your panels to shine.
You cannot just hit me with that before you leave. We got to talk about this more. God dang it, Chris. Come on, man. So how did this, obviously, brilliant idea, because no matter what, it's just like, Grandpa getting on the roof to clean the gutters. Do you feel comfortable getting up there to do it?
Oh, I'm not getting on the roof.
Well, no, but, how does that, what does it take to really clean solar panels? Because I'm sure a dirty solar panel could affect the amount of energy that you're bringing into your home.
Yep. You need to use a deionized water system. It removes all the chemicals from the water. It comes out streak-free, shine. It's a perfect situation. Now, what was the latter part of that?
So, just how does that process work? Does it take quite some time to clean? Does it a
couple of hours?
Really?
A couple of hours. If you don't have water, like if you have a ground mount and it's away from your property and out in the field, we have a water tank in the truck. We'll be able to we'll bring our own water, and do the system. But again, people never really considered that solar panels do get a layer of debris on them. If you ever look at your windshield and you see the windshield wiper keeps it perfectly clean, but there's always that little section out there that even the car wash doesn't get off.
Yes.
Okay? So that's what you're dealing with. So I recommend every 2 to 3 years, unless you're in a very area where you get a lot of debris from the trees and sap and pollen and things of that nature. Maybe it's an annual thing.
Well, I'm thinking, especially if you're out in a rural part of the county here, you got all those cornfields, that dust kicks up,
sir.
plus the tree pollen that makes it a little sticky. That's a perfect formula for film.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And there's a lot of them out there. A lot of people have had solar here for 10, 15 years, and they've never seen a sponge.
Oh.
Oh,
God.
We think the time was right.
So, take me, how long's the process? So, what's the process going to look like? When does this officially launch?
Monday.
Monday?
Yep.
Is it going to be on part of the Simply Solar Illinois website?
It will be.
Okay, cool.
It will be. We're picking up the equipment today. We're going to do a couple of systems over the weekend to get the feel for it, but we're ready to roll.
Can you guys send me the graphic of that so we can add it to your honestly, I know we're talking business now, but that way we can get it on so the more of the region can see it too, because man, that is brilliant. I never even have heard of that before. So this has to be, you said first clean, sir?
First in the Metro East. When I was Googling other ones to see, because I just wanted to call another company and pick their brain for information on the darn thing, and there's nobody around here.
Wow.
So I had to do some homework, but yeah, we're ready.
I knew you'd hit me with something. I knew you were going to hit me with something.
I just didn't know our 20 minutes was going to go by so quick.
My God. So this is awesome, man. I'm just a big fan, and I like that you're always constantly evolving and seeing a need, because there is a need for this.
Yep.
And, yeah, granted, even at me at a younger age, if I had a solar panel that you spent quite some money on, even though with all the exemptions and all of those things, they brought it back down. But still, do you feel comfortable going out there and cleaning if you really don't know what you're doing? I don't.
No, baby, no way.
It's like, people used to make fun of me about spraying my air conditioner off, because I'm like, man, what if I spray the wrong damn part of this thing? And then even though now I know it's okay, but solar panels aren't. It's intricate, and you don't want to be the one that. A
lot of people think they can just pressure wash them. It's an electronic component. Don't pressure wash your
Thank you.
panel.
Okay. I was going to ask you, because I've seen a video of a guy on YouTube that's done that, where he's taken his pressure washer and he was doing something good for the neighborhood to clean up the streets, and he saw a panel and he goes, well, I can clean that for you too, and sprayed it. I didn't see the end result, but I could only imagine that did not end well for that person.
Yeah, no. So solar panels are pretty tough, and they'll take a lot, but I wouldn't put a couple of 100 pounds of water pressure on it. No.
No. No. Oh my goodness, this is so exciting.
It's a soft brush clean with deionized water, and they come out beautiful.
Do they? Could you tell the difference once they're cleaned?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of this is going to be vanity, you know, because if you live in a residential neighborhood and don't get a whole lot of pollen, you're still going to want your stuff to shine. It's the reason we pressure wash our house and we wash our cars and we want this. I want my solar panels to be shiny.
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
Not with a little cover of haze, you know.
So is it going to be you out there doing the jobs? You got a team with you?
You know, I'm okay with a single-story roof that I can reach with the 30-foot pole, but if there's getting up on the roof is required, no, that's going to be my buddy Matt.
There you go, Matt. You're ready for this one. Man, best of luck on this. This is really exciting. And whenever you get the ball really rolling on the solar panel cleaning, come back on so we can ask you how things are going and when we can call you for ours.
Will do.
Man, I love talking to you. 1024, a little bit of change on this Friday morning. Our daily show hits you next with more right after this on Roku TV, RiverBender.com.
Peace out.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trunked. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
In the summertime,
10:29, a little bit of change on this Friday morning. It's the 12th day of July. We got Rachel Brown and Stacy Knox back in studio. How you doing? I haven't seen you in a couple of weeks. Rachel, coming up in just a couple of, man, you are getting closer and closer to your presentation.
I am.
July the 23rd, How to Talk to Other Humans. It's part of the Surviving Summer series. This is really cool because, I think, social media may or may not have given us some maybe false sense of who we are and how we communicate sometimes. Yeah. And I've always thought, a lot of problems right now could just be solved with open communication and just the right way to communicate. What are your thoughts just right off the bat?
Well, I think communication is just hard in general for a lot of people. Not just adults, but I think little ones.
Yeah.
Feeling understood, being understood. So I think a lot of our problems can be solved by just knowing how to communicate, having those basic skills.
Absolutely. So. And now take me through your day-to-day at OSF St. Anthony's.
Yeah. So I'm pretty new.
Oh, are you? How new? How new?
I started in May, so like around the end of May, I think. Yeah, so pretty new.
So before we go any further, just take me through your experience the last 2 months at OSF. What's it been like?
Oh, it's been lovely. Has it? It's been lovely. I was working remote for 2.5 years, so being in person has been a game changer.
I could only imagine, and you being able to communicate more effectively.
Yes, communication. No, but it's been so lovely. Everybody is welcoming and kind, and all of the coworkers, staff, Stacy, have been just so warm, and it makes me really happy to be there.
So if you could, I don't want to put you on the spot too much, but the Surviving Summer series, if you know a little bit of background, could you fill our audience in on what this kind of details?
Yeah, so really my audience is going to be parents or caregivers.
Yeah.
So people who, have kids or are looking after kids. And so really I'm talking to them about tips and tricks on how to communicate effectively. Give the kids what they are needing in those moments to really just help them out. Kind of like emotion coaching. In a way.
Yeah. And now take me through how the communication can really put a strain on a family's dynamic.
Yeah. So, when there is like a lack of communication, or if a child is just not being understood, it can cause a lot of things. Behavioral issues, outbursts, frustration with the parents, where the parents aren't able to communicate effectively. So instead of responding, they're reacting.
100%.
Yeah.
And now in your day-to-day, whenever you're working with your clients over at OSF, take me through just some of the conversations. And, whenever you're working with a patient, is there sometimes a communication barrier just in, kind of how they interact in their maybe their sessions with you?
Oh, definitely.
Is there? Okay,
Yeah,
I'm fascinated about this because it seems like, those first couple of times meeting with maybe a newer patient, there's kind of, the first day of school mentality. But really take me through the growth that someone can experience once, the kind of the barriers start to break down, the communication's more open and more free-flowing. Take me through the growth there.
Yeah. So I think building rapport is super important to me personally as a therapist. And so I really find that to be kind of like the key of therapy in general. Because when somebody starts to feel comfortable with you, they're able to, again, take down those walls, and then we can really start to cover a lot of ground.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And now, if you could preview some of the ground that you're going to be covering on the 23rd, correct?
Yes.
I was getting nervous. That date just rolled by my screen, and I was like, uh-oh, kind of guess.
It's coming up. So, yeah. So really, I'm going to provide a lot of just education to parents and caregivers about really what's going on in the teenage brain or just the brain in general with development. I'm going to be going through some statistics that might cause people to be a little upset, but I think being truthful and honest is a helpful approach. And then we'll talk about like tips and tricks for communicating. So listening, which listening.
Wait, hold on here. Let me talk to Stacy real quick.
Yeah. So I mean, listening is a big one. That's probably the big thing that we're going to be talking about.
Let me ask you this, and I've always kind of wondered this because, whenever I was in school, and I was in middle school and even, somewhat of elementary school, but more in middle school, the big conversation came to, kids weren't listening because, maybe the head was down and they couldn't make that solid eye contact. And there was almost like a disconnect or a barrier to why they couldn't do that. And some of it was maybe, a little bit of, an ADD or an ADHD or some type of other issue. Yeah. Do you see that as something that is of some prevalence where maybe there is an underlying condition that could affect those communication barriers?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. ADD, ADHD, anxiety.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Big time?
Oh yeah.
I like it. Rachel, good answer. That's very fascinating to me. So how important is it for us to kind of reevaluate just how we're feeling internally and what we're kind of going through when it comes to maybe how we're communicating with the public, the private, or family?
Yeah. So how we are feeling can really impact our ability to communicate with others. So that's why, in this segment, I'm going to be providing information on mindful parenting. So checking in with yourself, say your child or the person you're looking after is really starting to make you upset. Yeah. So it's time to look at yourself, check in, maybe take a time out, step away, take some deep breaths so that you can come back and communicate effectively and give that child what they're needing.
That's really, really fascinating.
Yeah.
Do you have a moment to stick around? We've
Sure.
already been talking for 10 minutes. I got to pay a quick bill here. 10:35, a little bit of change. Hey, while I have you, Alton Little Theater is starting their 91st season of being a staple right here in the Riverbend region. They're the oldest, most continuous in the state. Wild. And they're one of the most oldest continuous in the country. They're starting off with Oliver, a really fun one. They have a bunch of cast, a bunch of crew, and Kevin Frakes has made this set at Alton Little Theater's smaller stage look just like the movie. It's really cool. They just came off their 90th season. It ended with Singing in the Rain, but the 91st has Oliver, Rocky Horror Picture Show. You got to be kind of careful about that word. And Making God Laugh, Women of a Certain Age, A Christmas Carol, so much more. Season tickets for $85. You know what $85 gets you in St. Louis? A parking spot. And you can watch the best entertainers in the region. You can get your tickets now, altonlittletheater.org, altonlittletheater.org, or call the box office 618-462-3205.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance Insurance, our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
Riverbender Radio has built 3 great new stations just for you in the Riverbend. The Eagle, the Riverbend's classic rock station. The Bridge, hit music for the Riverbend. And The River, today's country, and all your favorites. Check them out today at RiverBender.com.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Blast from the past, really, you know. Yeah, Jeff Lynne, you know, George Harrison and Tom Petty, but they were bored one weekend and recorded an album. You know? Well, you know, we were talking during the break, and a really important conversation came up, I think, and this is one that I remember very, very well, and especially with the sister in the house with Mom and her, I remember that all too well, too, and it comes a point in life, you know, when, you know, I turned 12 years old, and all of a sudden, you know, almost like the bright light came on, and I was open to the world, and, you know, now even earlier with social media and influencers and X, Y, and Z, when we start to develop, how important is it for parents to kind of understand that development process? Because, you know, obviously we all know how was school today? Well, why are you asking? You know, how does that really come into play in that parent-child dynamic?
Sure. Well, children really no longer see their parents as that big source of, I'm going to talk to you about everything.
Yeah.
You know, it changes. They go from their parents to their peers. They don't want to share everything with their parents. Not because they dislike their parents, but it's just because it's not that person that they want to go to anymore. So really, parents being mindful of the kinds of questions that they're asking. You know, don't try to investigate what's going on with your kid, even though it might be hard and you want to know what's going on. But those are kind of questions that I'm going to be talking about in this series of how can we navigate this so you are informed?
Let me go a step further here, because now I'm kind of interested. So obviously when the child starts to get a little tensed up and closing that door, some anxiety comes over the parent. And we were talking about how anxiety could kind of affect that communication barrier. Does that almost become like a revolving door of bad communication when something like that could come into play?
Definitely.
What's your advice to parents that are facing that anxiety? Because it's kind of like handing the car keys off for the first time. There's that hesitation. I mean, your child's growing up. What's your advice to them?
Yeah. Patience.
It's a virtue.
You know, a lot of patience, and even, you know, reflecting back to the child about it, saying, I'm having a lot of anxiety because we're not as close as we used to be. And I miss you, you know, even saying those kinds of things, because then that's going to be something more, you know, likely reach the child rather than saying, well, you don't talk to me anymore.
You're right. You're 100% right. So, you know, whenever we're talking about, you know, just communicating, you know, building trust is a big part of communicating, because you got to trust the person you're talking to not to air your dirty laundry out in the first pew of church, you know. And how important is that building trust up when it comes to open communication?
Oh, I mean, it's a building block.
Is it truly a building block?
Oh, absolutely. Because, you know, children want to feel that they are trusted. So giving them certain tasks so that they feel that you trust them. Assigning them to certain chores that maybe they want to do. Or, hey, can I back the car out of the garage for you? Or, hey, can I wash the car for you? Giving them those kinds of tasks so that they start to feel that you trust them.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And, another point of that, too, is we were kind of talking about this validation aspect. And, it's kind of obvious, but you don't really think about it in the day-to-day of life of, kind of just saying, hey, kudos to you, great job on that. I'm glad that you're doing this. I'm glad we're talking. Yeah. What's validation and communication look like?
Yeah, so validation can be tough, especially when a child is coming to you about something difficult and maybe you're kind of scared to hear about what they're going to say.
Yeah.
So oftentimes I'll get people who will just say, well, I'm sorry you're going through that. And then the child feels very disappointed.
Yeah.
So validation can look like, it seems like what you're going through is causing a lot of difficulties. Tell me more. And that can really make the child feel heard, feel seen, and that can just open up a lot of other doors for communication.
And, as we're wrapping things up here and we've been talking about your upcoming presentation, a part of, by the way, I just want to say Surviving Summer 4 1-hour weekly sessions, if I can speak, I do get paid to do this job, on consecutive Wednesdays from 3 to 4 p.m. It's led by mission partners at OSF, encompassing multiple departments of OSF St. Anthony's. And now yours is going to be coming up on July 20th. I knew I got it wrong. July 24th. Oh, man.
I was thinking it. I think it's
but you know what? I felt really good when you said I got it right. So that's all that matters, truly. July 24th from 3 to 4 p.m. One last time, give us an elevator pitch if you could. What are you going to be talking about and how can people reach out and be a part of this?
Yes, so I am going to be talking about tips and tricks on how to communicate with the little ones, teens, tweens. So we're going to be going over certain topics that are going to be really important for communication, not only to make them feel better, but to make the parent and caregiver feel better too.
Really cool.
Yes.
And how can people register?
So they can call the main number at 618-474-6240, and we can get them set up for that individual session or the remaining series of sessions.
Really cool. That number again, folks, 618-474-6240. Sign up, be a part of this very informative opportunity by OSF, and thank you guys for putting it on.
Yeah.
We'll take a quick break. Our daily show on this Friday morning rolls right around the corner with Loretta Graham right after this on RiverBender.com, Roku TV.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone, and over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
Dream Home Realty Center. Hey, Sherry.
Talk to me, Dream Team.
We've got Joey.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Really cool. Look who I found in the studio, Loretta Graham, not with the Girl Scouts today, always with the Girl Scouts, but now we're talking St. John United Church of Christ in Collinsville. And you sent me a flyer before I even go into this interview. Gosh dang you for sending me a dessert flyer right before I'm starting to cook, because I had cookies going and everything after I saw that, you know?
It's going to be a great time, CJ. It really is.
How are you feeling today? Good?
I'm feeling good. Yes. Yes.
Now, you got to fill me in on dessert theater. I mean, what goes better than good music and great treats, you know?
Well, before I go into the dessert theater, let me just talk about St. John's Church of Christ in Collinsville. We focus on we have a genuine impact in the people in our community, and we are living as a church in the heart of the community, CJ, with the community, of course, at our heart. And because we are called to create a community where all people that are seeking Christ will experience God's love and grace. So yes.
Well, let me ask you too, just because we do a show now on Thursdays. I don't know if I've told you this yet. It's at 2 p.m. and it's all about exploring one's faith, where we Brian Trust talks to business owners, non-believers, believers alike, and just kind of explores that with them. And you know what I think is incredible is if you look behind any successful community, it's because of a strong church community too.
Yes. So I love talking about community, and I love talking about church, because we are committed at St. John's United Church of Christ. We are committed in our capacity to provide life-living ministry to those around us that we can influence. So, CJ, let's talk about this dessert theater.
Let's do it. Okay, here we go. So on July 27th, Dessert Theater, Music Through the Ages is the theme of this, correct?
Yes, Music Through the Ages. The event is going to be on the 27th, like you said, of Saturday the 27th at 7 p.m. at our church. The musical show will feature music of different eras.
Okay.
From Louis Armstrong and jazz to the Barbie movie. So we will have dancers, we will have instrumental groups, we will have a chorus singing, we will have many soloists from the Metro East, including yours truly, myself. I'll be singing a solo. Bette Milder, The Rose, yes.
No way. That'll be awesome. That's one of my favorite songs, by the way. It really is. Well, and this is where I've always kind of found this fascinating, Loretta. And I'm not as pronounced in the church as I should be here locally, but I still practice my faith and I still talk about it. And one of the things that I've noticed is music kind of goes hand in hand with spirituality.
Yes, it does.
And regardless of if it's a gospel number, there's still, whenever you connect with a piece of music, it can really connect you to yourself a little bit more and find that whole, that holistic approach that so many people need in their lives. That internal clock starts to get kind of tapped into a bit.
Absolutely. Music is the fabric of our country, really. It truly is. We in this country have defined ourselves through music from the beginning. And when I say from the beginning, I'm talking about the Revolutionary War, the Star-Spangled Banner and the War of 1912, the battle hymn of the Republic when it comes to the Civil War, now to the incredible explosion of music of the last century, talking about jazz and folk music and rock and roll now. Yes,
right.
Rock and roll. And country music.
So I gotta tell you this. There was a gentleman, and you said Louis Armstrong. I was in St. Louis radio for a couple years, and we did a music show. And his name was Joe Bosey, and he still plays at one of the wonderful restaurants over Evangeline's in St. Louis. He goes and plays there. This man was on the Godfather soundtrack, played for Dizzy Gillespie, did all these wonderful things. And I'm just sitting there, and what I found so fascinating about it is, jazz was his heart. Mm-hmm. But jazz actually is heard in every piece of music today. If you really look at the music sheet and you look through it, it is just, there's hints of jazz in everything.
Jazz music, country music, folk music, all of this music has taken, it might be different paths, but it's all a piece of our American identity. And Louis Armstrong, speaking of Louis Armstrong, he did more to spread our message through singing, song, playing, of freedom and innovation than any single person over the last century. So our history, our language, and our soul are recorded in our music. And I sing, it's all about singing from the soul.
I wanted to talk to you about that too. Okay, now this, I know that we're going in a bunch of rabbit holes here, but I was reading something, or actually watching, it was called Elvis the Searcher. It's on HBO. And it's about Elvis's spirituality and how he was so involved in trying to figure out who he was and what was out there, and had all, I mean, just really endowed into it. And whenever he really started to evolve his spirituality, his singing changed. It wasn't that raspy kind of, hillbilly twang. It was this powerful, deep in the diaphragm. And every singer that's spiritually connected has this raw emotion to where it's just something different. It's not this kind of, let's get through the song and talk and get through it. It's this really deep and rich Aretha Franklin-esque type of voice, and Elvis at the end's voice, where it was just rich and raw, and it just felt real. Yes. I don't know. That's just me.
Yes, and music is what feeling sounds like.
Yes!
It truly is what feeling sounds like. And, and speaking of Elvis and Louis Armstrong, our history, our language, our soul is about music. There's no deeper expression of the soul of this country than the profound archive of music that we have. Now, when you look at America, CJ, when you look at America, this is the story of the United States. I'm going to give it to you real. It's a kid that walks out from his home with a song and nothing else, and conquers the world. We have replicated that phenomenon over and over again.
Oh my
And
gosh.
we could start with, you talked about Elvis Presley. He did something, he came and just changed the world. Elvis Presley. But we could add numbers and go hours with people like Johnny Cash and Mahalia Jackson.
Charlie Pride,
Loretta Lynn.
Yes.
Aretha Franklin, can't forget her.
Carole King, the whole 9 yards.
This is all of the America character.
You said something that is so right. Everyone starts with that song in their head as a little boy or girl when they're walking out of the front door. And you are 100% right. That was beautiful. What a connection. And now, I'm sure in your church community, because I was reading the flyer, there's members of the church community that are going to be a part of this, but also members of just the existential community too.
Absolutely.
How was it difficult to find all the performers, or is the talent pretty rich around St. John United Church of Christ?
We have a very rich talent, of all ages, of all different kinds of eras. We have quite a, and I have to talk about our choir director, Jenny King. She is just amazing. She is very diversified when it comes to music, and knowing music is of all eras. So, but when it comes to music is a ministry, as you know, CJ.
Yeah.
It truly is a ministry. And I have a deep gratitude for the love of music, because every time I sing, I feel like I'm delivering a message. I'm delivering a message. The emotional power of music is a vital and moving aid to worship. Music and song continues to play a vital role in the life of God's people today.
I couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, I can't even top that. I can't even follow that up, but I can do this. At 7 p.m. on Saturday, July 27th, inside Faith Hall, which is a part of St. John United Church of Christ in Collinsville. This is going to be a fun night full of music through the ages, church members as well as folks from the community providing entertainment while the audience enjoys a variety of desserts. Okay, I'm Italian and I'm nosy and I love food. What desserts are we talking here, Lorraine?
We're going to have many, many desserts, from cakes to pies to cookies to coffee to, you name it. There's nothing more satisfying than to listen to music and have dessert. So we are going to have a great time. We are inviting everyone, everyone from all over, not just from the metro area, but from everywhere, to be a part of this and to join us for this. You won't want to miss this event.
Nothing makes me tear up more than people that love community. You know, I was driving into work today and just seeing, bar owner Jimmy Johnson outside cleaning his front door and, out there just sweeping and just driving by and seeing people turn the lights on and getting ready. And just hearing things like that just make me love doing this job because I love community. And when it comes together, it's just amazing. And now I got to only imagine that music and ministry at St. John United Church of Christ goes beyond just dessert theater. It happens every day. Fill me in if you could.
Absolutely. We are doing right now. We are doing a summer program right now.
Really? Okay.
And we're going to be doing Vacation Bible School, and that we are continuing to do many projects. I talk about the groups and the different things that we do. We have activities in our St. John's gym like pickleball and walking and basketball and musical groups for people of all ages. We reach out we have a soup kitchen, so it's a message. It truly is a message, and just many other things that we're doing every single day. And our Pastor Jen Glover, she is always busy. Looking at the community. When we say we are church in the heart of the community, CJ, we have that community in the middle, in the center of our heart.
Well, and it seems like, and honestly, not just from hearing you speak, because, I do my background and I like to Google things and go and Facebook stalk the church, and like to see what you're doing. Every person that's a part of that church lives it. And you can see it. I mean, you can really see it coming in, and really just, it puts a different perspective. And when I talk with folks, and I've said this all the time, when someone is spiritually connected and truly lives by that mission, there's a glow about someone. And you have the glow. I'm telling you. And I've always wondered why, and it makes sense. It makes sense.
Well, thank you, because people don't read, they watch.
That's true.
And when they see what you do, we can talk all day, but until you do what you say, people aren't gonna pay attention to anything you have to say.
You're 100% right. And now, with that being said, how can we get involved with Dessert Theater?
Well, all you have to do is call our office, and I'll give you that number here. Got it right here.
Loretta's always prepared because she knows I'll ask her anything.
You can call us and
is it that 344 number?
Yes. You can call us at the church office, and the number is 618-344-2565. Again, that's 618-344-2565. And it's free. We are asking for a free will offering.
Yeah.
Just to support the missions of our church, but it is free and it is going to be packed. So
I like when we're on the same page because that's what I kind of want to do. We've already been talking for over 15 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
It's just whenever you connect, it all just flies on by. But take me through, because you said other missions that go on throughout the year. You take me through some of the things that you have done a part of the church that you're most proud of in terms of just ministry, in terms of just mission that you all do throughout the year.
Well, our soup kitchen and our youth program, oh my goodness. Our youth program is amazing. Right now, we are serving probably over 100 youth during the summer.
Whoa. That's a very large number.
Every single week we serve these kids, and they come in and they learn a group of things. We have a great youth person that is at our church. Her name is Dana. She does an amazing job with the kids, and she just got so many great supporters. So when I say we are at the heart of our community, I truly mean that we are at the heart of our community.
I wanted to ask you this too. Whenever you encounter a child that maybe you're that's a part of the mission that you all are serving, what's the turnaround whenever they truly connect with something bigger than themselves? Because I've noticed just from when I was, kind of growing up and just from my kind of observations, that when you grow up within an environment that has that type of atmosphere like a church, and it doesn't matter what denomination, as far as it's just that spirituality, that connection, it can go so much further for that child in terms of development than anything else. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts is exactly like yours, because there's something about that inner person that changes the outer person.
Yes.
And when you go to a church like United Church of Christ, I have to brag on my church.
Please do.
And you get that teachings. You know, no matter what it is, we can get through this.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to turn to this thing or that thing, but you can turn to God and you can turn to this church. And that inner person is going to create that outer person. And sadness becomes happiness. Yeah. And again, speaking of music, people get delivered through music. They may listen to a song, they may be going through something, and that song changes their whole outlook on things. So yes, the inner person changes. The outer person changes because what's inside.
100% over. Loretta, I always love chatting with you, and I know we're over 11 o'clock, but anytime I can talk to Loretta, we're going to go over. You want to get involved in this. Now, United Church of Christ is at, 307 West Clay Street?
Yes.
Really cool. And I wanted to ask you about the soup kitchen a little bit more, just because it seems like it's a very large component of the church. It seems like a pretty big service. Take me through, if you could, what the church does through its soup kitchen for the community.
Well, they serve on, I think, every third Thursday.
Okay.
And we normally have, I'm going to go ahead and say over 200 people that we serve. You know, I think it's on a third Thursday. Mm-hmm. And it has grown. It started small, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. There's a need in Collinsville. I don't know if you did any research in Collinsville, but there's a lot of at-risk communities and a lot of individuals that just are not as fortunate as others. So our church, being in the heart of that, is a place where people can come and get things done. We get things done in the heart of that community.
Well, let me ask you something real quick before we wrap up. If someone says, you know what, Loretta, I can't make it to Dessert Theater, but I'd love to support what you're doing throughout the year at St. John's. We want to support the church. How can they do that? Is there an opportunity to donate throughout the year?
There absolutely is. We have a website. You go to the website. If you put on St. John's, there is a place say donate now. Hit that button. You can support us. And, you know, even if you're not supporting us, whether it's through revenue or monetary, if you want to say, hey, I'd like to help, you know, give us a call at that number, at that number that we just said, mm-hmm. and we can put you to work.
And that phone number again is 618-344-2526.
That's right. That's correct.
There we go. Loretta, it's always a pleasure talking with you.
Thank you.
And we're going to link everything that we discussed today in an article on RiverBender.com to promote it further, just as a, thanks for stopping by from me. And because this is a really big deal. I love whenever a church does some really cool things, and I love whenever they're a part of the community. And Loretta, I just love you to death, to be honest with you.
Thank you, CJ.
No problem. We're out of time. It's 11:06 on this Friday. I will see you back here live with more of our daily show, with a jam-packed show yet again. Proud of myself. Dog days of summer aren't hitting me yet, you know?
Oh, my goodness.
So on that note, have a great weekend, but most importantly, just as always, try your best to stay out of jail.